Good evening, and welcome to Nightsky Sanctum, episode 23, the penultimate episode of the season. Let's start by introducing everybody. We'll start with Morningstar. Introduce yourself and your character, please.
Hello, darlings. I am Morningstar. And this evening, I will be playing a very youthful Elise, Median Psyche, who generally gets her way, whether by charm or a few threats.
Excellent. Lilith.
Hi, I play Steph, a Nerid shapeshifter. Mischievous fish person that uses shapeshifting to solve all their problems or potentially cause more.
Alrighty. And Anya.
Hi, I'm Anya. I am going to be playing Hollis this evening. She is a gob baba, which she is, let's say, more concerned with death than life.
All right, let's make sure we have all the audio working. There's some. Can you speak again, Morningstar?
Darling, I can always speak again. I
Raise your mic.
shut up.
I can. Oh, okay, good. Just a problem on a user's end. Excellent. Well, it's sad, but we prefer that over everyone missing out.
It truly is a pity. My sympathies, darling.
This is what
my sympathies.
Video on demand is for later. You can go back and rewatch the first 15 seconds of the stream. And Gaia will not be introducing herself, and we'll just move on. We are going to begin this session in the middle of the action, in medias res, as they say. So I am going to. I've already done an engagement roll, but we are going to modify it based on Gaia's role with casting a spell. So I will start with that real quick. Okay. And of course, I didn't roll it on camera. Let's get that up. All right. There we are. All right. So we are beginning in a desperate position. Gaia is getting the most fun position to begin in. You
are.
Think
of a few more positions that are more fun to start with.
That's true. That's true. We won't go there. So you are in a small boat off the coast of Manhattan. Although the water is home to Seth, at least via heritage. For the rest of you, this is one of the first times you've been out on the water around Manhattan. And you have been summoned to the boat by the leader of Nightsky Sanctum, Gaia, who says they have a very important undertaking that they need every ounce of help with. And she is a green-skinned Nerid, similar to Seth, but a little bit shorter, and tends to adorn her face with a lot of jewelry. And she is very well accustomed to the water. You all know her as a storm witch of decent renown. She's relatively well known around Manhattan and surrounding areas. And she has brought you out into the middle of the murky black depths and says that there is a shipwreck that one of her close allies has found that needs to be excavated for any artifacts that it might contain. A Selkie that she knows was searching the depths and could sense powerful magic emanating from the ship wreck. But she knows that not all of you have the abilities to move around in the water the way Seth can, and she has devised a plan for that. She's going to cast a spell on all of you to encase you in air. No matter how deep you go, you'll be able to breathe, and you can move around as if you were more or less a fish.
Perfect. Does that mean my gown won't get wet?
Indeed, it does. You'll be surrounded by a bubble of air that will effectively make you levitate in the water in any direction you choose. So it'll be like flying underwater.
Nice.
Now, it's up to Seth whether you want to be constrained in this way or if you want to breathe on your own.
Free flow, baby. I'm gonna be by myself. I don't need a bubble.
Okay. Well, in that case, that is a little less essence she'll need to spend to get you all going. So, I can't type Q's because if I do, the dice roller will go away. That is not the right number. Okay.
That is certainly unfortunate.
All right. Here we go. So she has 2 in focus. She's going to cast the spell at limited effect, controlled position for herself, Hollis, and Elise. Okay. And the result is a 6. So you all feel a strong gust of wind come under you and lift you up off the ground slightly. You feel as if someone threw a baseball bat at you. Baseball bat, that would hurt. If someone threw a baseball at you, it would probably get just shot away from you. The air is moving that quickly. And because of such a good roll, I'm going to add 1 die to the engagement roll. Because
Fortunate, it was a good roll. Wouldn't be much use to the whole group if I couldn't breathe.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. So that is going to bring us up to... Well, let's try that one more time. There we go. Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, close enough. It is the wrong dice roller, but that's all right. It gets the it gets the point across. So you all have enough time to do anything that you'd like to prepare, ask any questions or anything along those lines. While she's
Is there any information about this artifact that Gaia is willing to part with?
No, all they know is that it's powerful. Powerful enough that a creature that was roaming the oceans was able to detect it, and too powerful for them to want to go in alone after it.
I thought it was good enough reason for me.
Anything else? Anybody else?
No, I don't think so.
Does Gaia have a plan for what we're going to do? Going in as a team? We splitting up? Someone doing what?
Yeah. I think that the thought would be to go in together, and if it doesn't look like there's anything too dangerous, that maybe you can all split up and search separately. But first, getting into the water will make sure that everybody's safe. All right. Well, if you are ready,
I'm jumping
she
in.
she is the first to take a leap in. She peels off her cloak and levitates off of the bow of the ship and into the water. And you see the water part around her in sort of a football shape as she levitates down into the water and sort of waves you all in.
Well, we're levitating. I don't even have to kick off my Louboutins. So I'll just jump in after her.
Okay. Who else is going in next?
Seth's going to do the whole scuba diver backwards, like back flop off the boat.
You're going to show off.
Yeah.
Nice. And then Hollis.
Hollis is gonna jump as high as she can to see how good this levitation is.
It carries you about 3 times as high as you would normally expect to go before you turn toward the water and make a very minimal splash as you go in. It is pretty dark, and so it's a little bit difficult to see. There is a light on the front of the boat, but it only penetrates about 15 feet down.
Shame we didn't bring a torch. Shame a torch probably wouldn't work.
Heat up your oxygen really fast.
Seth could turn into an anglerfish. Extra life.
Would you like to do that?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. No roll necessary. If you want to be a standard-sized anglerfish.
Yeah, I'll be standard size for now until we deem it necessary.
Anglerfish. That would be terrifying.
All right. Well, in that case, it sounds like you might want to be the one to lead further into the depths.
Alrighty.
Would you like to make a roll to see how successfully you get down there?
Yes, what would I roll?
Something navigation related. Could be target, could be finesse, could be survey, could be prowl, depending on just sort of the method you're using to get down there.
Maybe dark, I'll do a prowl.
Okay. Okay. As you are headed down, your light illuminates the front section of a shipwreck. So you can see sort of the pole coming out from the front of the ship. And your light chases away something in the darkness that kind of looks like an oversized eel that you think might have been coiled around the base of the ship. And because you're not surrounded in a bubble of water or a bubble of air, you feel the water push against you and know that it must have some decent mass to it.
Okay.
We'll just consider that basically almost like a gather information roll. Yeah, little bits. Let us know if it's any particular video or if it's all of the video. And if everyone else that's in chat could chime in, let us know if the video is cutting out for the whole thing or any specific. Thank you. Okay. You don't see an immediate entrance into the ship, but you know one must be nearby. Okay. Other people don't seem to be having the same problem. On Twitch, sometimes you have to refresh the page a few times for Twitch to pick it up. It also can take some time for it to get up to the full resolution. We're streaming at 1920 by 1080. So give your computer a little bit of time to get the full stream quality going. But thank you all
You
for...
can see my glorious face in high definition. Might even be able to spot my pores.
If you do, don't say anything. So it is around that time that the rest of you can sort of feel rumbling, waves of water sort of crashing against your air bubbles and compressing them in an unusual way. It's possible something else was attracted to this magic. So what would you like to do?
We should get in quick.
Yes, before any of us develop thalassophobia. Good reason.
Okay. Is that a group action?
I would think so,
Yeah.
considering I'm the flashlight.
Sounds good. Yeah, you'll
Just
lead.
like Gandalf.
Gandalf the light.
So we want to do a group prowl?
Try to keep yourselves unknown to this whatever might be out here. Also prowling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Likely for the best. All I have is some throwing knives, and don't know how well those would move under the water.
You pop your own bubble and you drown.
Oh no.
Sounds good.
So group prowl?
Yeah. So who wants to lead it?
I think Seth is going to lead.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can
Oh
lead
yeah,
since
that
I'm
makes sense.
already on the front. Checking on my points.
They are ahead of us.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Thank goodness for that, because mine's likely to.
Oh, not too bad.
Success. Pleasantly
So,
surprised.
yeah. So we end up with a 5. That's going to cost Seth 2 willpower, and Hollis might have a little bit of something to deal with. So I think what that looks like is Seth has enough knowledge of what things look like underwater that they're able to make a beeline straight for where the entrance should be. And
Sorry, so I just fell off my desk and scared me.
Startled me, and I'm in the next room.
I could hear it, and I'm hundreds of miles away. Hollis
We
is
must all be
lagging behind.
telepathically connected.
And Hollis, you are blindly going toward the light as Seth is leading away into the inky blackness, and you feel something brush against your leg through the bubble, and it feels almost like sandpaper. But because Seth moved so quickly, they were able to pull you all in before anything got to you.
Okay.
As soon as you all get inside, including Gaia, it is completely waterlogged inside. But you found your way into the first deck of the ship. The first thing you notice is that there are, of course, no lights or anything, but Zeph's personal light is enough that you can see there appears to be something murky in the water. It might be leftovers of octopus ink or something else, but there is something that, even despite the light, is still obscuring your vision. So you'll probably all need to stay close to Seth unless you have another way of creating some light.
Got low life vision for nothing.
Let's see. I'm trying to figure out if Gaia might have some ability. Just going through her repertoire.
It's called a waterproof flashlight.
That sounds like a
For
flash.
diving. They make those.
There's a good chance that there's probably one aboard the ship.
Or chance that we can actually use it.
Oh man, it's just a button. One button.
It is.
Heck, we can't use tech. We should have just brought glow sticks. Underwater raved.
Well, those might be aboard the ship.
You crack them and they explode.
Oh,
Oh no.
that's less.
All right.
Actually, I like that idea, as long as I have time to throw it before it explodes. And it's a grenade.
Yeah. If somebody wants to do a flashback, actually, I will consider this one a freebie from Gaia. She didn't think it would be terribly useful while you were out in the open water, but now that you're inside, she pulls off her pack and starts throwing out what are basically high intensity glow bracelets to everyone. They're all on the green spectrum, so they pierce the water pretty well.
Good. And then we can know where each other are.
Yeah.
Going to look atrocious, though I'm wearing red. What is this, Christmas?
You hear the sound of something scraping the outside of the boat where you just came in. Has that same kind of leathery, sandpapery sound to it.
I don't like that.
Don't like it.
Friendship bracelets for everyone.
Okay, let's maybe a group or individual surveys or studies or something like that to see if we can find anything useful quickly.
Yeah, I'm going to say now that you're indoors, you're out of risky situation and back to controlled. So if you wanted to split up, it's a little bit safer to do so now.
Not super stoked about that idea, but if it'll help us get it out of here faster.
You could always go in pairs.
That's true.
I assume you didn't bring Iran, Hollis?
No. I'm not bringing a bird underwater. That'd be terrible.
And Seth, did you bring Ribert or in any form?
Yeah, Rivert's having a great time. He's like, woo! Water field trip.
All right.
I have no one to bring.
No, no one at all. And Gaia left her familiar whisper at her coven stead. All right.
Do a group study? Do we want to split off? What do you guys think?
That could be interesting. You are near the captain's area. You could study what's in there. See if that gives you any information.
Yeah.
Do
I don't
maybe
have
two
any
of you want
fun, so
to?
that'll be fun.
You could split off and have a couple people do something different that they're a little bit better or more inclined to.
I could do some swimming around and do a survey and see if I can spot anything.
Okay. Going alone or anyone going with you? Anyone want to survey instead of study?
Yeah, I'll go with Elise and I'll do a survey.
Okay. Then Gaia and Elise could take the captain's quarters. Captain.
Sensible. Perhaps we can find a manifest.
Yeah. Okay.
That is probably completely destroyed, but still.
All right. Elise, can you roll for yourself and roll one die for Gaia as well?
What am I rolling?
Study would probably be best.
Yes, study.
If so, she'll lead it.
All right.
Just let me know which one you're rolling first, yours or hers.
I will start with hers.
Okay.
Is this a gather information as well?
Yes.
Which is a G?
Yes.
Hers is a 1, which is limited. Well, hers is a 3, rather.
Right.
And mine is a 6.
Much, much better. All right. She goes off to a far-flung file cabinet, looking in completely the wrong area. Where do you head?
I head. Well, I assume we're in the captain's quarters. Yes, his personal quarters.
Yes.
Bedside table.
Yep. Yeah, and that's where you find a crew manifest with a whole bunch of names stricken off of it. Well,
That's concerning.
About half of the crew, it looks like, have their names struck from the registry. And let's see, you rolled a 6. What else do you want to know about?
I would like to know if there's any indication about where the hole is in the manifest.
The hold? And what
Yes.
okay. Yeah. It says hold currently empty. One bay converted to what do you call a holding cell on a ship? Isn't there a specific term?
Brig.
Yeah,
Yes.
one bay converted to brig.
Crossed out
And
names
you see an
and a
asterisk,
makeshift brig.
and then an asterisk beside that, and then beside the name of one of the crew members, you see that same asterisk, and that crew member's name is Quinn Hargrave.
Quinn.
Quinn indeed.
Seems likely that this Quinn was put in the brig. Given all these crossed off names, potentially they did something especially heinous.
And I think you get one more question. If you don't have an idea, I have something I could volunteer.
I don't have an idea, darling, so do go ahead, volunteer.
Okay. I think underneath the crew manifest, you find a badge in the shape of a silver helmet with a small red gem in the eye of one of the sides of the helmet. That makes you think that this person might be working for the Red Watch.
Well, especially heinous indeed.
You also, thank you for the subscription, Little Bits. I hope everything's working out for you video-wise.
I hope you could see you're so generous in supporting us.
Thank you so much. You can see out through the porthole in the captain's room that something has penetrated the inky darkness and is just outside of that window. You see something long and eel-like, and then it vanishes into the depths. Let
I
us
do hate the ocean.
let us skip back to Seth and Hollis. And was it a survey?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You guys can roll that. How are you going about it? Just hallway to hallway and
Yeah,
Think
just
so.
kind of swimming around.
I'm gonna pop 2 willpower because I don't have anything in survey right now.
okay.
There we go.
Okay. Looks like that was a 4 from both of you. So that's just going to cost you 1 willpower, whoever led that.
Here, I'll lead this one so you can keep some extra willpower.
Okay.
All right. You end up working your way through many different hallways, just swimming from one hallway to the next. You find a stairwell that leads below, and you notice that when you sort of peek your head down there, the water clears. It's not nearly as whatever this is that's blocking a lot of your vision, even through the green that is all throughout the water.
Wait, clear water?
Clearer water, yeah.
Clearer water.
You haven't seen anyone aboard or any sign of anyone aboard.
No bodies.
No bodies.
Maybe the eel ate them all.
Maybe they are that inky darkness.
Ugh.
Oh, no. Oh, it's people.
Oh, at least you guys are in bubbles. Now I have them all over my face.
You can through your gills.
Oh, they're in my
All right.
Now,
So,
do we
yeah.
continue upstairs or do we go back and grab Gaia and Elise before we go and show them this new cleaner room?
Cleaner.
Yeah, I guess we could go and report our findings.
Okay. All right. As far as the there was a do so at a cost on that last one. I think the cost is we're going to well, I'll describe what happens and then that we're starting a clock. You hear something ram against the door that you came in through at the top of the ship. It is rammed repeatedly 3 times in quick succession, and then you hear
No one's here.
Mail.
you hear metal twisting above deck.
Oh no. I don't
And
want to.
we're going to start a clock. The eel arrives.
Mm.
It's going to be an 8 clock, and currently 2 are already filled. If you
Okay.
would like to resist, we could resist that down to 1 tick on the clock being filled, but that's up to you.
I'm not gonna worry about it.
Dance has happened bad yet, so I'm not too worried about an extra tick.
Maybe it's a friendly eel.
Like a
Did you
troll
read that?
all over again.
That's exactly what
Underwater team.
Gonna be like a friendly porpoise.
But did it ram it on purpose?
Mm.
All right. So you all head back up, and you meet Elise and Gaia as they are coming back out of the captain's room.
Clear down there. Clearer.
Yeah. Well, that's certainly an improvement. Not a fan of this disgusting water.
All right. I don't think it's going to take any action rolls to make it back down there, as nothing is specifically blocking your way, and you're
Yes.
able to move. Yeah, and you're able to move fairly quickly through the dark water, thanks to the air bubbles that Gaia has created for you. All right. When you get down into the next area, it looks like there is a bit of an armory down here. A lot more helmets and armor, including like under layers, like of the armor. So padding and things like that. There are also some shorted out stun batons that look like they've shorted out in the water.
I want a helmet.
You want a helmet? It's it sort of floats around on your head because it's
How big is
definitely-
the helmet in comparison to Hollis?
Yeah,
Big enough to fit my ears inside of, so that's good.
that's true. All right. You hear more slamming, and this time, in addition to the slamming noises happening above, you also hear a whacking sound against the side of the hull. So now there are 2 large sounds coming from outside of the ship, and it's hitting with enough force that the ship is actually starting to rock in the water just a little bit.
Better find this thing fast.
What do you want to do to find it fast?
What is Gaia gonna do to find it fast? She drug us down here.
Let's see. She has a lot of electricity-based powers that don't come in particularly handy when you're in the depths like this.
No.
Generally, no.
Probably why she brought the 3 of you here.
Well, I hate to disappoint her, but my powers don't come in particularly handy down here either. And I'm not entirely certain Hollis's will
Maybe
at
she
all,
thinks
too.
she can outswim you.
Oh,
But just bait.
She knows she can't outswim Seth, though.
are there any dead spirits around that I could? I guess I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, you want
Commune.
to do like a gather information?
Sure.
Um,
I'll
I
probably
think,
gather information.
yeah, I think that might fit with the Psyche's ability a little bit more than yours. You need a body to touch.
Yes, I
But
can sense the astral vibes.
actually, I think you could both roll. Because unbeknownst to Hollis, she's actually touching a lot of dead bodies
Oh,
currently.
it is people, my god.
Oh no.
Ah,
So,
This is the worst.
so let's say you can sense spirits around you, but they're so jumbled up, you're not really getting a lot of information.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's see what if you'd like to, what Elise can get.
yes. I suppose, would that be a focus in order to
Yeah.
do that?
Absolutely could be. You sort of still yourself and take a moment to reach out mentally and see what you can feel.
Thankfully, I'm not aware that there's human remains floating all around, and
So is
thus,
Hollis aware of that now? That there's
Yes,
just people bits everywhere?
absolutely.
God.
And because you don't have telepathic bond, you'll have to
Nobody else
speak
knows.
that aloud if you'd
That's
like.
probably good.
Yeah.
Would you say that if I'm doing this, it's a gather information or just a standard roll?
Gather information.
I see. All right. It's a 4.
Okay. So, okay, you get 2 questions.
Well, I would first and foremost like to know a bit of quantity. How many astral sort of
Okay. You
entities?
you are detecting 3 powerful minds would be a very generous way of saying it. Intelligences of 3 different kinds.
Yeah.
So you get one more question if you want to drill down into any one of those.
Where's the powerful thing?
Yeah,
I unfortunately don't know.
that is one of the 3 things that you've connected to. So if you want more information about that.
Oh. Well, certainly then, yes, I would like to know more about the powerful thing.
Okay.
Location, ideally, but
Yeah.
any
So,
information I can get.
yeah. Let's see. The information you get about the astral nature of that item is that it's almost like a beacon. It is sending out magic in waves, and it seems to be affecting all of the spirit worlds all at once.
Ooh.
Hi.
You can almost feel it reaching into your mind as you're reaching out toward it. But it feels very cursory. It's not trying to get deep into your mind or anything, but it feels like when you poke it, it's poking back.
Certainly has some power to it then. I side-eye Gaia.
That's why we're here. I think the only reason it stayed down here for the last 12 hours since this boat capsized is because of the remoteness of the location. I have a feeling that the Red Watch will be back to retake this ship any moment.
Oh dear, is there a Red Watch clock going as well?
Not yet. We need another failed roll for that, or some wild magic. All right. But yeah, you didn't get any more information about where it was, but you do have a little bit more information about sort of what it is at this point. About the other two of you, any ideas about how to go about hunting it down?
That was my idea. Ask the spirits.
Yeah. There is obviously there is a cargo hold that should be accessible from this level. If you're interested in seeing if the remains of anyone are still down there.
Yeah.
Okay. Hollis, do you want to lead that?
Sure. Is
All
that
right.
going towards the clearer water?
It is, yeah.
Good.
So what do you want to use
Get out of the people.
to get through that quickly and possibly quietly?
I guess a prowl.
Okay. Everybody else down for a group prowl?
Yeah, I'm down.
All right.
Chances are I'll fail miserably, but
Yeah.
I'm certainly down to try. Back before Elise just gave up on sneaking altogether.
I think I'm gonna
Maybe-
spend 2 willpower to get an extra die.
And of course, anybody can take a Fey bargain if you want to take an extra die as well.
Should likely actually do the same with the willpower.
Wow. Hollis, quite a roll
Mm-hmm.
to get started.
I already did willpower. Can I take a Fey bargain to get an extra die?
Yeah. You could use willpower or a Fey bargain.
Can I do a Fey bargain instead of willpower?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sweet.
So let's see. I think you smell exceptionally tasty.
Oh no.
You might be something like a natural prey item for the thing that is currently stalking you.
I'm
so
high grade
makes sense.
tuna.
So you'll be the first if it ever makes its way in here.
Got it.
But that'll give you +1 die.
Hopefully, turns out. Oh, for that.
Oh, dang.
Goodness.
Now I'm
Oh,
tasty,
no.
and I did a bad job.
And unfortunately, I have 1 die to roll with here,
All right.
with willpower. So,
Wow.
fingers crossed.
Oh,
Complete success.
that's it.
There we go.
Okay.
Elise and Louboutins carrying our dead weight.
Awesome. Okay.
Somehow, the woman in the red dress is the sneakiest of the lot of us.
Yeah, I think Seth and Hollis, you end up getting sort of stuck in a doorway, holding open a doorway, and Elise just powers right through it while the two of you are struggling with it, getting it open and keeping it open. And you enter the next area, and as soon as you get down there, the water's even clearer than before, and you can see that there is an area that has a giant air bubble trapped in it,
Ooh.
and you can see a person's legs kicking to stay afloat inside of the brig.
Oh, the person in the brig.
Mm-hmm.
Win.
And you also can see that the area down here where the ship ran aground, the the hull here is quite a bit thinner than it is everywhere else.
That's not good.
From sort of the crumple zone, you might say. But the three of you, Gaia, Hollis, and Seth, are finally able to make it down into the lower area and join Elise. So, Elise, if you'd like, you can take the first action down here.
This Quinn is alive?
Yeah.
Or is in whoever it is. They are.
This Quinn person is a woman who is treading water inside of the cell with their head just above sticking into the air bubble. And you can see a near the crumpled area of the floor, there is a small, what looks like a lockbox laying on the ground there.
Ooh. It's the thing.
Well, my attention's certainly on Quinn. I turn to her and I say, "You are a very fortunate individual."
Your words carry pretty well through the water, and they dunk their head under the water to try to get a look at you, and they put their hands up as if they're trying to surrender.
I do like a quick and easy surrender. I wasn't even fishing for one. Oh, well, what a pun. Completely unintentional, I assure you.
Speaking of fishing, I think from those other two big failures, we're going to say that this eel-like creature starts smashing into the bottom of the ship now, and is scraping against the crumpled area of the hull down here. And you see that box sort of get kicked up and a little closer to you, and then sort of go sliding back down.
Can I catch the box?
Sure.
If the eel's smashing against the side, should I be ticking more on the clock?
Yeah, we're gonna tick 2 on that. So it's halfway through.
Mm-hmm.
Hollis, you dive down and grab the box. You can feel there's almost a hum of magical energy coming from it.
I'm like, I think this is it.
Yeah. You hear through the water and air as whoever this person is, maybe Quinn, yells, "Be careful with that thing!" And they go up for another gulp of air. Judging from how long this has been submerged, they might not have a lot longer.
They're in a cell right now.
Yeah.
Well, perhaps we should move to break them out. Evidently, they were on the wrong side of the Red Watch, which means they're on our right side.
Could be. Right. We are going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back in about 10 minutes.
So don't go away, or you'll miss me. And everyone else.
right. Welcome back to Nightsky Sanctum, episode 23. Again, the penultimate episode. And now, as you are well aware, the flashback episode. We are back at the inception of Nightsky Sanctum when it was ruled by Gaia rather than the group that you all know and love now. So, where we left off, Quinn was treading water, and the creature outside of the ship seems to be closing in and possibly breaking through into the ship any moment. And it looks like the group, specifically Hollis, has their hands on the item that they all came for. So, where do we go from here? So, I will let the rest of you pick up from there. Who'd like to take an action?
Should we try to break this woman out before she dies?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Gaia will agree with you on that. And she will send a gust of air up out of the water to sort of refill that section so that she can at least breathe better while you all figure out a way to get her out of the brig.
Well, we have lockpicks, do we not?
I think the Coven item is either lockpicks or a first aid kit. I can't remember.
Lockpicks.
It was lockpicks from the beginning? Yeah. Awesome. In that case, Gaia produces a lockpicking kit and holds them up in the air and kind of shrugs. Haven't had a real chance to learn how to use these yet, and kind of waggles them around if anybody wants to give them a go.
Well, I'm proficient with them. Certainly had to do my fair share of dubious deeds.
All right. Well, she hands them off to you.
Right.
Usually we do finesse for lock picking, but if you have an argument for another
finesse makes sense to me.
Okay. These are, as we now know, Red Watch locks, so they are going to be higher tier than you are. So it's going to be reduced effect.
But if I take a Fey bargain, I could increase the effect?
You could increase... I think a Fey bargain will give you extra dice. Willpower can increase the effect.
Willpower. Well then, if I utilize some willpower, I could potentially increase the effect.
Yep.
And regarding the usage of pick kits, does that add a die or?
It just gives you the fictional position to be able to possibly unlock it.
I see. All right. Well then, I will utilize the willpower.
Okay.
To push for a greater effect, and hopefully we shall be able to get this poor woman out of the cell.
And okay. Awesome. All right, that looks like a partial success. I think with the extra willpower, that means that you're able to push through and get it all done relatively quickly. So only one big bash against the wall. One more tick on the eel clock.
The big bash, fortunately, shifts my hand at the last second.
Click.
Unlocks the final pin.
All right. It looks like that extra air that Gaia was able to thrust up into the top area, caused the boat to lift just a little bit from the extra oxygen. And
Yeah.
so now more of the ceiling is sort of swimmable by Quinn. So now you're all sort of able to get your heads out so you can hear each other well. And she looks very confused but happy as to why there are so many people down here in the brig with her, but very happy to see other people. She says, "They put me down here because I didn't want that weapon getting out. I told them it should be destroyed, and they locked me down here, and they wouldn't stop. They said they were going to deliver it to Rikers Island."
Oh, well, certainly couldn't have had that. You know why the ship sank?
They took the lockbox on the to the upper deck, and I heard a lot of screaming, and then I saw the box float back down here.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And I didn't know what to do about that, but I was stuck in here, so there wasn't much I could do.
Evidently, the box wanted to be near to a sensible keeper. Artifacts have a certain power to them. They know what's best.
uh, they said that's why they brought me. They wanted me to research some kind of stone, but the more I learned about it, the more I knew that it couldn't be let out.
What does the stone
Ooh,
do?
power.
Apparently, it has a number of powers and kind of a mind of its own as far as how it uses them.
Hmm.
Gaia looks down and says, "We've got to destroy it." Better if we don't even try to unlock it. I've got an idea, at least. And she asks if you'll just sort of throw it away toward the corner, just to get it away from everyone.
Okay.
She plants her feet on the ground and opens her mouth and lets out a scream toward the item. I'm going to roll a focus roll for her and see how well she's able to use one of her storm powers on it. That is not good. That is the same as the engagement roll. Okay. She focuses all her energy on the box and succeeds in completely disintegrating the box, but also disintegrating part of the metal hull of the ship at the
No.
same time. And you see a red gem the size of maybe an eyeball just sort of roll out of the remnants of the box and roll down into the corner. And the beast comes back by and slams the hull of the ship again. And we're going to knock 3 off of that clock.
Well, not only is the gem not destroyed, we seem to
That
be in a rather precarious situation.
completes our clock.
Completely completed?
Completely completed.
Okay. I'm gonna say
This
It-
is the first time we've completed a negative clock.
so I think until it slams into the wall again, it's not gonna be aware that it can break through.
Okay.
So I'll give it one more anything. But then it'll be through and it'll take an action. So she looks down at it and she's confused because she's destroyed plenty of artifacts using that ability before, of varying levels of power. And so she kind of she looks on in disbelief. Any other ideas?
It seems to me like we don't have much time to think. Perhaps we should attempt to abscond with it and determine what to do next when we are no longer in a ship surrounded by hostile eels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She says, I could use wild magic to try to destroy it, but that wouldn't get us out of the situation we're in. So
You try to get out of here and then do wild magic.
yeah. She could try to channel air into the bottom of the ship and cause it to rise up to the surface.
That sounds
And then perhaps Hollis could freeze the open holes and we'll have a floating ship again.
Okay.
Yeah, I could try.
Okay. I will.
As everyone knows, ice and ships go very well together.
This is just what happens when you rewind the Titanic.
Did it again. Okay, there's Gaia's roll.
Gosh,
That
dang it.
is not great. Okay, so I think she tries channeling air. She just sort of pulls all the rest of the air out of the water. And it helps a bit. Like you can feel the ship come up a few inches, but it's not enough. It's not going to raise the ship. Maybe it's because there's water leaking out in places or something of that nature.
Okay, I will try to close up the holes, or at least the holes in this area, with some ice, and then maybe she can try again.
Okay.
This I assume they're relatively large holes.
This one that that from the wreck itself is a significant like crumple sort of impact area. So yeah, I would say it's like probably you could fit 2 people through it if it was fully open.
Okay, so like 3 essence.
Yeah, that seems definitely strong enough.
Okay.
Americans will use everything but the metric system.
People width.
It's a 3 essence hole.
All right.
I'm gonna roll focus.
Okay.
Um, can I take a Fey bargain to get a extra die?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. You're sealing it with ice.
Yeah.
How about you need to get really close to it and touch it because you usually touch the ground,
Yeah.
but there's no ground. And so you're going to take like level 1 harm frostbite
Okay.
on your fingers.
Sure.
Before she does this, can I try to snap up that gem so that it doesn't end up getting, sinking to the bottom of the sea for the Red Watch to grab?
Sure. Yeah. We'll just take that. You scoop it up and catch it in your hands, and then Hollis heads over there and to try.
Very easy to catch something when there's water.
Yeah. Sort of bounce.
Can juggle. Did it? Get 2 more of them.
Okay. All right. So, do you want to describe that?
Trying to think of what like pre Hollis's casting would look like. She's still gonna need. She's like you said. She's gonna touch the place that she wants to put the ice. Basically, she just reaches out her hand to like towards where she wants to put all the ice, and she's going to do her chanting, and the ice is going to kind of just like come out of her palms and start filling in the holes, and she's gonna get stuck, I guess, to the ice for a few moments and frostbite her fingertips.
Right.
Yeah. Chop those off.
I like them.
And that's also a partial success. I think it's actually going to stick a bit more than you want it to.
Okay.
You're going to potentially rip off the tip of one of your fingers. So it'll be level 2 harm
Okay.
instead of level 1, if you're good with that.
Sure.
Okay. So yeah, you are now bleeding into the water. And
Well, thankfully, they're eels and not sharks.
yeah. And yeah, you hear it. What we're gonna do with that is you spent 3 essence.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna fill back in 3 of that clock. So we're gonna unfill 3 of the eel can get in clock. So it comes and smacks into the now frozen hull, and isn't able to penetrate it. Well, I told Anya I would be very proud of myself if at least one person didn't notice for a while that was a video loop. And so the fact that there are multiple people saying they didn't realize it makes me very proud of myself. I spent a long time in After Effects trying to do that. So,
It looks great.
thank you. Yeah, so yeah, don't feel bad. I put quite a bit of work into it. Thank you. Okay, so Gaia is ready to try again to get this ship off the ground, but at this point, it is going to take her wild magic because she is running out of essence. So, so she gets ready, and she's like, "You know what? You should all head up. I'll take care of this from down here. If things go well, I'll meet you up on top." So,
He
Well,
wants us to
I'd offer
leave
to
the
help,
boat and
but
swim to the surface?
no, just leave her behind and get to the escape
Okay.
hatch on top.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, in
Everybody.
fairness, she is a nerd. She shouldn't have too much issue.
Yeah. She's also in her own bubble of air, just like the ones she created for the 2 of you. Okay. You hear her chanting, and she sticks her hands up and forces herself against the top of the the ceiling, and starts to channel all the air she can in there. And you feel that magical suction come from behind you and sort of pull you all back down. And then you feel the ship start coming up underneath you and rising. And you all rise as quickly as you can. Elise, you feel that the tug that was pulling on you is pulling on the stone even more. And it's trying to rip itself out of your hand and head back below.
How peculiar.
What do you want to do about that?
Well, do we have anything that we can secure it to? Or in?
The box was destroyed.
Probably best not to swallow it.
Yeah, I think you might just need to, you could just hang on to it the best you can, or let it pull you back in, see how much energy it has, and whether it's going to pull you back down into the brig or not, and then make a decision about if you want to let it go.
Okay. I suppose that makes sense. I shall hold on to it, but give and move with it if I must, rather
Yeah.
than let it go. Because if this is truly so powerful, we cannot risk the Red Watch having it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you're ascending, and it starts pulling on you, and your arm gets wrenched down to your side, and then within a matter of about a half a second, you get bodily flipped completely upside down and dragged back downward into the brig.
Press.
Uh,
Ruined.
do you want to continue to try to hold on to it?
I will try my best.
Okay. I think you're definitely able. You get battered because it doesn't seem to be caring that it's dragging you behind it, so it drags you far too close to doorways and walls and things like that. And you risk a concussion as you fly downward at extreme speed.
Oh, goodness.
You can make a prowess check to see how much damage you're able to avoid.
I can guarantee that will not go well, but we're going to try anyhow.
I'm going to say the base damage is level 3 harm.
All right. Well, let's see if this does any good for me to make that less harmful. It's a 2, so
Okay. So instead of level 3 harm, you only end up taking level 2 harm. It massively bruises your shoulder on a doorway as it pulls you downward. But it
never
doesn't.
going to be able to wear strapless gowns.
As soon as you get into the area with the brig, it stops moving completely and sort of flings you forward a little bit, and you feel the magic energy coming from her wild magic get sucked into the gem. And you see her physically crumple up and get sucked into the gem. As the brig does fill with air and the ship continues to come out of the water.
Oh dear.
The gem just comes to rest in your hand after that.
So I'm standing again, I'm assuming.
Yeah, you're able to stand now. Did any of you take Quinn with you? Or did she just witness that horribleness? Maybe
I
Hollis?
assumed she left with us, but
Yeah, I
Yeah.
assume she went with us.
Hollis, you had a bubble of air with you at the time,
Yeah.
so she could breathe. All right.
if she hugs you very tight.
Mm-hmm. As soon as that happens, your bubbles of air completely disappear, and you fall
Oh,
into
no.
the water. So that's Elise and Hollis. Seph's already used to it. You're immediately struck by the cold. It is very, very cold here. But now you will have to make your way out with a small lungful of air.
Swim for our lives.
Mm-hmm. So, Hollis, do you want to head down and try to get to the air bubble, or up and try to get to the surface?
I think probably the surface.
Okay. What do you want to use for that?
So I was thinking I would make myself a jetpack out of fire.
Okay.
Boil your
And
way to
I'll
the top.
hold on to Quinn and jetpack us out.
Okay.
Boil some water behind us to push us out.
Okay. Awesome. How many essence are you going to use for that?
How many can I use at one time? Because I don't want to die.
I would say 4 is the max you could use. 3 is probably the safest.
Okay.
4, and you could potentially cause a lot of damage to yourself or Quinn.
Okay. I will use 3. And yeah, I'm gonna try a very controlled stream of fire.
Mm-hmm.
Very
Make-
powerful controlled stream of fire.
Making some sulfur bubbles.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's a what do you call it?
I think
Focus roll.
I think focus would make sense. Yeah.
Okay. I'm in the wrong one.
Do you want to take a Fey bargain or?
I think I'll spend willpower this time.
Okay. Do you want increased effect or an extra die?
I guess increased effect.
I think it's going to be standard effect. I think it's going to be reduced effect because you're trying to. No, it kind of evens out because of how much essence you're using.
Yeah.
So, I think it'd be standard effect even without you using willpower.
Okay, so I'll get an extra die then.
Okay.
God dang.
Oh, that's not good. Okay. So, how do we think that failure manifests?
Maybe
Ooh,
Yeah.
maybe you.
burst the legs.
Maybe you rocket upward, but the boat tilts, and so instead of going toward the exit, you end up getting like trapped off in another area.
Sure.
So you and Quinn end up in like a water-filled area that isn't emptying out. And so you're not going to suffer any particular harm just yet, but you're
Just drowning.
but you're in a desperate position now.
Okay.
Also, you can see the face of a creature looking at you through an oversized porthole in the room that you're in, and it has 4-inch long dagger-shaped teeth.
No.
And it's looking at you through 2 big black eyes on
Don't like
its
it.
leathery body. And you finally get a good look at it through the window. It's about 100 feet long.
Dang.
So,
Okay.
do you want to take an action first?
I don't know what to do.
We could let someone else take an action.
Yeah.
So, Seth, you are completely in control of your ascent. I don't think you're going to need to make any rolls to get out, because if that's all you're trying to do. But if you want to do something different,
Well,
you
it
might
seems
need
like Hollis is in a little bit of a pickle right now.
to. Yeah,
So maybe I go back and see if I can help Hollis.
divert.
Yeah, well, I am tasty now. We know that's a thing.
That's true. That's true.
Waft my.
Pheromone. Okay. Okay.
I'll do that. I'll see if I can be a diversion. Just be like, yeah.
Okay.
Put an apple in my mouth.
Okay.
Can you open portholes?
Not usually.
Okay.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to. Let's see. And
Can I panic for a full action?
all right. So, yeah, it starts bashing against the porthole, trying to break it open, trying to get to the two of you.
I'm gonna look at Quinn and just, try to communicate with my eyeballs. If you have any magic, you should probably do something.
Furious eyebrow motions.
Yeah. And she looks at you and is like, if there's not a book for me to read about it, then I don't know anything about it.
It's like the magic equivalent of like emptying your pockets and just like lint falling out.
Yeah. I mean, she does start like helping you kick away and try to get back out into the like main area.
I have very short legs.
Maybe she needs to carry you out. How about Seth? You have shapeshifting. You could potentially get
Be a
people
whale and put us in your mouth.
out.
Oh my god. Like Pinocchio or like Jonah style.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? Yeah, sure. This thing's huge. I'll be huge. Do I need to do dire form to make myself just a massive whale?
So if you become a whale, you won't fit in here.
But if Hollis gets close to the edge, and I just kind of go, like, suck the water
out. If you wanted to get out of here, you'd probably need to be something a little more agile.
Okay.
Because you wouldn't be able to fit through any of the hallways as a whale. And this thing hasn't broken through yet. It still
How do you
needs
feel
to.
about riding a dolphin?
Yeah, that sounds great. Lifelong dream.
There we go.
Okay. What do you want to roll for that?
See what I got, actually.
To me, that kind of sounds like a group finesse, maybe?
Yeah, because Hollis would be hanging on, Quinn would be hanging on, I'm navigating.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. I need to pop some willpower, though, because I don't have anything in finesse that to go well. Or, yeah, I'll pop willpower. I can get a few
Okay.
at some other point.
I'm gonna do some willpower too. Can we run into Elise on the way out?
Oh, I'm sure you will, yeah.
Elisa's just gonna, like, grab onto, like, Hollis's legs.
Now we can't hear you.
Now your audio's gone out. Did you hit a button?
Anya, are you going to roll?
Yes, I can do that.
Oh, no.
Well,
Oh,
that's
no.
a 3 for the leader of the action.
I'm on the wrong side and I just bashed face first into the portal.
Oh, okay.
We're all
think-
gonna die.
So,
Good
I
lord.
think what this looks like is
I'm sorry, how many willpower points is that for me? Because that all
that's
failed.
just going to be 2. But it counts as a quite a failure. So, I think what that looks like is Hollis grabs a hold of your fin and
It immediately falls off.
uh-oh.
Oh.
We lost Morningstar, and we will be right back after these messages. All right, thank you for bearing with us for the minor the
Hiccup.
minor technical difficulty there.
Elise was so disappointed in her Coven members that she rage quit the chat.
Okay, so I think you all head for the most graceful dolphin-led action that you can get, but the creature smashes into the porthole with such accuracy that it busts through and reaches in and grabs a hold of Quinn's leg
No.
and starts trying to pull her out through the porthole.
Oh no.
Oh.
Well, we could just let her die, but chronologically we know we don't, so...
You have to save her because you saved her.
How
the
has,
entire timeline's screwed up if we don't.
how has it grabbed Quinn? Is it like bit
By
their
the leg.
legs? Am I able
So-
just to attempt to do like a brawl and like bash whatever part of it has grabbed Quinn?
Okay. So what you see is what looks like 100-foot long shark-skinned eel, but on top of that, it has what looks like the face of a dragon, like a classical Western dragon with
It's the Leviathan.
frills on its head. So, what form do you want to take to do your brawl?
You know what? I think I will pop dire form and do an uber charged mantis shrimp.
Ooh,
There's that one that has like the supersonic punch.
yeah, absolutely.
I think I'm going to do that. I have to zoom in. There's something else I have to tick for my dire form.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, I can't do
Just
that.
one essence.
I can't. I didn't pick it. Sorry. No,
Oh no!
I can't do it. I only picked impersonation and
You-
psychometry.
You can flip flop from impersonate to dire form.
I
Since
guess
you
I
haven't used
it, so-
impersonate.
I don't
know
think
what?
you are going to impersonate much under the sea.
Under the sea.
Sebastian the mantis shrimp.
Oh, I thought I had to tick something else. It's just one essence. Okay.
Yeah.
My mistake. I thought I had a specific thing I had to roll for that as well.
Awesome.
Okay.
Normally, I would say this thing massively outclasses you, but with dire form, you're on even footing with it.
Okay. So I have to do a brawl roll as well, correct?
Sounds good.
Can I take a Fey bargain as well, just to
Yeah.
really hope this works?
Hmm.
So what'll it be this time? I'm tasty and I'm covered in butter?
Um, covered in butter. Yeah, I think
Be something from our failed roll last time. Like maybe with our failed dolphin roll, maybe I bashed into the wall and I hurt myself. Or
yeah, maybe the shards of glass from it breaking through they go flying toward you, and for you to get in that close to be able to brawl with it, you're going to have to dodge shards of glass. So you'll just take level 1 harm.
glass shards, I guess.
Glass shards, that works.
Glass shards. Okay, so that'll bring me 3. So let's see how this goes. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Partial success, 5. That's better than a failure.
Okay. So describe your mantis punch.
So the mantis punch creates it's so fast, it creates a little air bubble vacuum, and when that pops, it's essentially supersonic. So that force is going to rupture up to the part that Quinn has and basically render that limb numb or floppy, useless to what's hanging onto Quinn right now, is what I'm attempting to do.
Okay. Well, it's hanging onto it with its mouth, so
It's like right in the nose.
that's a good limb to make useless. Yeah,
and
Roulette
out now.
mentioned it's so powerful it instantly boils the water around it as well.
Nice.
So I think because it's like the first time you've ever done something like this and you got a partial success, we're gonna say that it doesn't just go forward toward the thing, it also comes back and it cracks your mantis shrimp hand.
Okay.
Like it just breaks the shell right off your hand.
Would that be level 2 harm, or?
We'll just say level 1 harm. You won't be able to use that ability again.
Twisted hand.
I was thinking, it could break Quinn's legs, and this is why she gets, fairy legs.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I think also it is going to, unless you want to resist this, it is going to break one of Quinn's legs.
Poor girl.
I feel like that makes sense. Like, the legs are in the thing's mouth.
Yep. Okay. The dragon literally pulls its head away and then turns, and its eyes just roll back into its head as it starts floating upward, and its neck goes into the shards of glass in the porthole and starts to rub against its neck as it's just laying there unconscious. And the ship continues to rise, and it continues to rub against the glass as it lays there unconscious. And the ship reaches the surface and bounces a little bit, and the 3 of you are able to make it up to the surface.
Well, we didn't drown.
You did not drown.
I mean, a busted leg is better than drowning.
So where's our boat that we got here on?
Your boat is nowhere to be seen. There are little bits of it that are still floating around. But what you can see, just a little ways away, is a Red Watch hovercraft.
Oh,
no.
And what you can see a little bit more distance away is the rocky beach of an island.
It's South Brother Island, isn't it?
It is.
I guess that's where we're going.
So how are you all going to get there?
Swimming?
Swimming?
I would guess I'll grab a piece of the boat and hold on and kick.
Pull a Titanic.
But I'll share my piece of the boat. It's fine.
I won't.
I think we did this in the first episode too. Seth can like grab onto the back and flutter kick like the motor of the boat. Just
Oh
push
yeah,
everybody
yeah.
along.
Awesome. All right, I think one group action, and we'll see how well that gets you there. If the Red Watch make it to you before you make it to the island.
What kind
What
of
is it?
control would that be?
Oh, like a group brawl to kick the water.
Show that butter who's boss.
Um, I think finesse would make sense. That's sort of the riding action, or the closest thing that the game has to one.
Okay.
And if Seth is doing the majority of the action and everybody else is just sort of, sitting on rubble, then I think it would just be probably Seth
Okay.
making the roll.
If it's finesse that we're doing, I would like to take another Fey bargain because I don't have anything in finesse right now.
Okay. How many level 1 harms have you taken?
2.
Okay.
I've got a busted hand and I've got glass shards. Don't know if that's in the same hand or not.
Okay. Yeah, let's say that no matter what, by the end, after this roll, you are going to be physically exhausted.
Okay.
So you're just not going to have a whole lot of energy left for any other kind of physical activity.
Go. Fingers crossed. Nope.
Oh, okay.
I can't get a good grip on the boat. My hands are all buggered up.
All right. The rest of you are swiping furiously and kicking and paddling. Let's see. I think that means that we are going to tick 3 of the 6 clock of the Red Watch arrives.
Okay.
And you all have another chance at some other way of getting out of here.
Let's just do some more wild magic.
Wild magic?
My favorite thing to do right in front of the Red Watch.
It's worked out for you well in the past. Or in the
Moderately well.
future, rather.
It's our origin story. How we're so ballsy.
Do you have an idea for something that's Baba and Death and...
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah?
I'm gonna call on the drowned to push us along.
Ooh.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's Baba. That's the Death card, which is your aspect. And your heritage is Gob. So not so much on Gob. So that's a 2-die wild magic roll. If you're
Okay.
willing.
I'll do it.
All right.
So it is. What do I put in there for wild magic?
Just I think !2 WYLD. Oh, no, that gave you 2 wild magic complications.
It did.
That's not what you want. We want just do a 2-die fortune roll.
Fortune?
Yeah. F.
Woo!
Okay. All right, that's a 6. So you get
That
to
is a
describe what
6.
happens.
Okay, so a bunch of disgusting bloated, drowned bodies float up around us and start pushing us towards the island at an accelerated speed because there's so many. They're just kind of handing us off. More like a fireman's brigade, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Are we like
Handing
crowd
us off.
Yeah,
Because
you're
there's
crowd
so many
surfing on.
dead in the ocean, so many drowned.
Yeah.
So they're just moving us along.
Yeah.
And we end up on the sandy side of the island.
Okay. Yeah, I think.
Fortunate you rolled a 6 there, Dom, because otherwise I think you would have been in the gemstone.
Yeah. Yeah, you see a lot of different kinds of drowned creatures too. It's not just humans. It's not just mortals. It's there are fae creatures, and yeah, you become extremely aware of just how many people have died in these waters. Drowned prisoners trying to escape from Rikers Island. The fae, yeah. But when you make it to shore, you are completely exhausted, and the Red Watch hovercraft is gaining on you. But this island looks barren. There's virtually nothing on it. There's a little copse of a few trees, but when you stand there on that sandy beach, it just looks like a whole lot of nothing. So, what do you want to do?
Run for
To
the
wring out my gown.
As an action. Maybe a group action to try to find a hiding spot.
Yeah, that's probably the wisest thing to do.
Who
So
wants
like
to lead?
survey or
Yeah, I think survey would make sense. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Who wants to lead that?
I'm 2 from busting on willpower, but I guess it doesn't matter too much since we're on an island.
Busting. That's going to be the new term for it. It's not trauma anymore. I'm just about to bust.
Yeah, I've got 3.
There's no way
That's
that's an
no
alternate
trauma.
meaning. That's not going to get taken out of context. Yeah, so Hollis? To
Sure.
lead?
Sure. We are using survey.
Uh,
This is gonna be fun. Let's see. Did I take any survey? I did. I took a survey done.
nice.
Actually, I
No,
did
so
not.
we'll see what happens.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, this is going to come down to Elisa's roll. That's a 3 from Seth and a 4. Okay, so you all scramble. You all scramble up onto the island. Hollis, that's going to be 3 willpower that costs you.
I have traumaed.
Okay, we will
That's
deal
all
with
my
that.
willpower.
We'll deal with that in just one sec. So the 2 of you scramble up. Hollis, you find a place to hide amongst the trees. Seth, you find a small place to shapeshift and hide in. Elise, you find a huge flat metal door that's rusted, and you find a handle on it. And if you have the strength, that should be the best place to hide of all.
Well,
If you can manage to open it.
I think it's safe to say that Elise does not have the strength.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe muscle strain.
Well, and her shoulder's bruised, but even if it hadn't been, she's not exactly muscular at all. Muscles. Yeah, they make it hard to fit in a cap sleeve gown, so.
This is true. Do you want to call to one of the others to see if they can assist you?
No.
Or do you want to try
No,
to find
I'm going to go down to the beach. I'm going to attempt to bury the stone in the sand. And I'm going to just look absolutely bedraggled and horrible. Like, well, a posh woman who has somehow gotten shipwrecked
Okay.
and is completely waterlogged.
Okay. That sounds like a sway to me. Is that what you're thinking?
I could certainly see it as a sway. Yes. I wasn't really thinking of an action so much as a
Yeah.
preparation for once they arrived. But yes.
And Hollis, does that sound like when you found your hiding spot, you passed out from exhaustion or something worse? Did you take any harm?
Yeah.
Are you bleeding?
I mean, just my fingertips. Nothing
Oh,
super
okay.
serious.
So you are bleeding, but it's probably not
Yeah.
enough to bleed out over.
What if she goes like feral?
Ooh.
And
Arrow gob.
I know.
You just find Hollis later doing the whole Smeagol thing, smashing fish on rock.
Yeah, like you're like claiming this place like in a territorial way, and like
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking maybe she saw Elise find the door and she can just go like feral strength it open and then crawl inside and pass out.
yeah,
Leave the door open.
I'm not talking to anyone. Yeah, I think that makes sense. You are passed out in the hole and yeah, completely inconsolable. All right. Did you make a roll for that? No, not yet.
Of which? For whom?
Do you, Elise, do you want to try to sway them if they come close?
I have something in mind
Okay.
that I would like to do if they come close. I don't know if I want to spoil it necessarily.
Oh,
but-
okay. Well, see, I was thinking there's a good chance that they're going to go for the shipwreck rather than for you all at this point. So that's why I was thinking we could make a roll and see which sort of which
Certainly
it
make
is.
a roll.
Yeah.
Doing a sway now wouldn't necessarily do what I want to do later.
Right.
So
how about we do a 0 die fortune roll and see how that turns out. If it turns out in your favor with a 4, 5, or 6, then they just turn and go to their ship.
that's sensible. Shall I do the roll?
Yes, please.
It is a 4.
Fantastic. So
I assumed the damsel position for no
Mhm.
reason.
they were headed for you, and you see the hovercraft kick sort of to its side a little bit, and then they zoom off in the direction of the shipwreck. Probably tracking the wild magic from there rather than the wild magic that Hollis did.
I got
I was
underground.
offended. She's going to leave me marooned on this island.
Right.
Absolute bastards.
He didn't fill any letters out. What do you expect?
When the two of you find the hole that Hollis has crawled into, you find that it's quite a bit nicer than you expected. It's probably some kind of old military outpost or something of that nature that leads underground a significant distance. There's cobwebs and a lot of broken stone, but somebody put a lot of effort into building this at some point in the distant past. And that's where we'll stop. And we'll kick back to the future with you all sitting around your dining room table and enjoying a meal together down in this bunker that you've spent a significant amount of time together in since
With our
then.
children.
Yes. Your children dancing around, showing off their new
Routine.
routine. One of them falls to the side and clutches their neck. Oh, my parasite's acting up again. But as you're all sitting there and laughing at the ailing child, the gemstone that is in the middle of the table that you've had as a centerpiece for so long starts to glow bright red. And you hear the voice of Gaia in your minds. And that's where we'll stop.
Now I'm going to be in trouble for not telling everyone.
She's going to be so disappointed.
I raised you better than this.
Why did she sound like Marge Simpson? I can't do that voice. You're holding me to far too high of a standard. So yeah, that was our flashback episode back to when Hollis, Elise, and Seth were all just witch babies.
Elise was only 35 years old at the time.
Wow. A wee child. So, and that sets us up for next week, the season finale. And then on March the 8th, Anya will be running Victorian Vampire for all of us, as well as for Azalwin, who will be rejoining us for that game. So we are very much looking forward to that.
Going to be smashing. I'm going to spend the entire time doing a very offensive French accent. So I encourage you to come witness that.
Yeah. Well, let's go around the room again, and we'll tell everybody where they can find us on the internet. We'll start with Morningstar.
With me? Well, you can find me on Facebook, where I am the Scytherian, or on Instagram and Twitter, where I am the _Scytherian. And I wholeheartedly encourage you to come follow me, because, well, I think what we have this week is perhaps our best work yet. And that is a lofty claim, as many of you no doubt know.
All right. Lilith?
I'm still currently in the process of getting my own personal links up and going for my editing work, as well as possibly commissions in the future. But in the meantime, I'm the editor and photographer for the Morningstar content, so you can go to the previous links mentioned and see if there's anything you like, or if you're going to enjoy this future shoot, which we're very excited about.
You're excited too.
Yeah.
Anya?
Yeah, my name's Anya. You can find me on Instagram under the Menagerie Nest. You can find me on YouTube at the Menagerie Nest, where I do upcycle videos of furniture. And I'm here on Friday streaming Animal Crossing.
Yeah. And thank you all for joining us for the Animal Crossing streams and the others. On Thursday on this channel, we have the Itty Bitty Kitty Committee, which is a very, very different coven of the world of the Children of Midnight Coven game that you can come join us. That is run by Comp. He is one of the people that understands the game almost as well as Anya and I, the co-authors. So feel free to come and join us on Thursday for Itty Bitty Kitty Committee or Friday for Animal Crossing. And we will be back next Tuesday for the season finale. So please join us for that. And
We're all going to trauma out. Wait, we're all going to bust.
we're all going to bust. Yeah, it's a fact. All right. And everybody's social media links will also be in the credits, which will roll in just one moment. But it was lovely talking to you all tonight. We will continue the giveaway next week on the season finale. Again, as I said, all we need is a single comment from anyone, and you will be entered for the giveaways. If we reach 200 followers as of the next session, then we will be adding more to the giveaways. So each 25 followers will add more items to the giveaway. You can see our Balsamic Games Twitter for more information about that. So
be sure to invite your friends to come watch the stream next week.
Please do. And thank you all so much for joining us, and we will see you next week.
Bye.